What's going on, guys? Bart here with Working the Shoot, and today we're gonna just be getting a little bit into this WWE purchase that has recently happened. Um, we, as the audience, knew that this purchase was coming. We just didn't know from who, how much, what the details would be. But we finally got those answers. But before we get into those answers, I hope that today is the day that I earn your subscription. You hit that red subscribe bar down below. You let me know what your thoughts are on the following subject of WWE's purchase and the return of Vincent Kennedy McMahon back into the WWE, kind of seemingly back into it, the trenches, so to speak, even though he was kind of back around in the last few weeks. But I want to thank all of you for stopping by, liking, commenting, sharing. But without further ado, let's get into it. The purchase of the WWE and some Vince-related thoughts. The company that purchased the WWE is called Endeavor. It's UFC's parent company, and they had made this deal from, to my understanding, a couple weeks before, or a little bit time before WrestleMania. Supposedly Triple H didn't even know about the deal. Which I can kind of understand, maybe because of certain NDA stuff and what have you, business things, which I'm surprised Vince McMahon was able to actually have some, some self-control about not talking about it until it happened. But yeah, Vince, Ari Emanuel is the CEO of Endeavor, and it seems like he's going to keep some WWE staff. I mean, like the behind the scenes people, the executives and stuff. They're gonna kind of combine the board of directors with their own people and WWE people. And it looks like Vince McMahon is going to remain executive chairperson of this new entity, so to speak. They haven't thought of a name for the new company yet, so to speak, on that side. It may just still continue to be WWE, and as far as like the common fan and stuff is concerned. And of course the smart marks are going to always keep up with the information behind the scenes anyway. So the common fan isn't going to really feel too affected by this, maybe. Unless like I said, unless you're like really just on just the basic, wrestling, I'll watch this for a little bit or whatever, see how it's going. But a lot of us fans over the last 7-8 months, when Vince McMahon stepped down because of his shenanigans behind the scenes. His passing around assistance to John Laurinaitis, like there's some sort of property, basically cheating on his wife with his wife working right down the hallway from him, his daughter and son walking in the hallways at certain points in the company. I mean, this is the same man who made Trish Stratus crawl around the ring in her bra and panties and bark like a dog. And he just doesn't understand or refuses to understand that that he's just a garbage person. His staff, like for instance, this past Monday Night Raw, the Raw after WrestleMania 39, initially Triple H was behind the scenes running the show, and then Vince started inserting himself into the show again when he said he would not do that, which was, again, he's a liar. Vince McMahon has been a proven liar, put it that way. And his wrestlers do not like working for him, specifically. He changed up the show. Even during the show, he was switching it up. Took out matches that was supposed to happen. I'm firmly convinced that Cody not winning at WrestleMania 39 is Vince McMahon's fault. I believe that he put the kibosh on that, no matter how much anyone is going to say different. My personal view is that Vince put the kibosh on that. Of course, Triple H is not going to say, oh, well, it was all set in stone until 2 hours before the show, and Vince said, no, Roman's keeping it. Because I think people are really going to know that if that was really what happened, or something similar to that, people are already losing their minds over the fact that Cody didn't win, and that it was so close to him winning, and to have it be snatched away from him by Vince, because Vince wants to get involved again, is kind of pathetic. Vince McMahon is just a pathetic old man. His own daughter don't even want to work with him anymore. She left when he came back. There's talks about maybe Triple H leaving. Shane McMahon don't really hang around anymore because, it's so weird how Shane McMahon was the one that said buy the UFC all those years ago, and he was looked at like a fool, and now it's UFC buying the WWE, so to speak. Excuse me. So I really think that that's a nice little twist of irony. Even though I got a chuckle out of Shane injuring himself like a schmoz, but I do like Shane McMahon in an overall sense. I liked his character in an overall sense. I hear he's like a really decent guy behind the scenes anyway, and of course, what guy's not going to want to look like he's Mr. Tough Guy in front of his family? So I get all that. I mean, you're still not going to beat up Matt Riddle or Brock Lesnar, Shane, let's be honest, but I am a Shane McMahon mark. But yeah, Vince McMahon has come back, lied about what he was going to do as far as sticking around until there was a deal, not getting involved in the trenches and the weeds of everything, and here we are, pretty much back in control of the WWE, and all this hard work that Triple H did over these last few months to build these stories, to craft these stories, the people in the stories taking incredible care to make sure that every response, every syllable that they can control coming out of them is impactful and positive towards the story. Even if you weren't big on that particular segment, you can still feel like it added the story to go forward. And now we have Cody Rhodes having to go against Brock Lesnar for what reason? What are we in April, May, June, July, August? What is this going to go on until SummerSlam? It's just going to be Cody talking in the ring to Brock Lesnar, and Brock Lesnar shows up 2 or 3 times before SummerSlam, and F5, and then suplex, and then at the pay-per-view it's going to be F5, and suplex. I mean, listen, man, Brock Lesnar's a beast, man. I love Brock, man. I love Brock. I've always loved Brock. I thought he could have been one of these guys, uh, that like Roman Reigns, that they can keep the belt on him for 5 years, and it would seem legitimate. You know what I mean? Because of how he carries himself in his real life, badassery, so to speak. But I think a lot of people are tired of seeing Brock regularly in the main event. I think they want to see him more as these novelty acts, these novelty matches, and stuff like that. He's a special draw, and so that means you can't really have him around too much. So why put him in a story with a full-time guy? You could just have him be in a story with another part-time guy, where then you're not really holding Cody up from the story that he needs to tell. But Vince McMahon is very much about the big beefy guys. Same look for the women that even if they can't wrestle, we'll train you to wrestle. And you have wrestlers like Bayley. You have wrestlers like Shotzi, Shayna Baszler. Where Naomi, where you can make these women even more a star than they are already. And I don't know, Vince just has a really weird view of wrestling and how to book wrestling, and he has lost his touch not only with wrestling but with reality. And I don't really know how they're going to finagle him out of there, because as far as any business stuff is concerned, he's so smart and so manipulative and so calculating that you really need to figure out how to get this man out of here now and send him off to the ether where he belongs. He's just... And with such a display of his past, and to look at him now with his dyed hair and his dastardly dog mustache, like, he looks even more like the creep that he is. Like, go home, man. Go home. Vince, go home. Nobody wants you around. But that's my thoughts. You let me know down below if you think this is going to be a good deal between WWE and Endeavor. And are you too tired of seeing Vincent Kennedy McMahon? Until next time, peace, Knuckles.